right, welcome back. I'm Courtney Spaeth, and here's how I went from being an invisible instructor to a full class using collaboration. If you've never collaborated with anybody before, I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to be talking about that. Collaboration, smart collaboration, audience borrowing, they're all interchangeable. So if you hear me saying one term over the other, it all means the same thing. It's all collaboration. So I want to ask you something. Have you ever walked into a half-empty class and questioned everything? Like if that career path, that job, even if it was part-time, was for you? If teaching fitness classes or Pilates was for you? Have you ever thought about that? Like just day after day or week after week, walking into studios with maybe a couple people in there, and it's just like you feel your heart sink into your stomach, and it's just like, okay, is this what I'm meant to do? Do I have to get another job so I can pay my bills? If that's you, so glad that you're here. Listen to this video. It is for you. So I used to leave my family for 2 hours. From the time that I walked out the door to the time I pulled back in, it was about 2 hours. And I used to make 25 bucks from those 2 hours. Now, you break that down, that's about $12.50, not about, it is $12.50 an hour, and that's before taxes. So, what are you left with? 25, maybe $15, for those 2 hours. You break that down, that's $7.50 an hour. My gosh. If people working at McDonald's or Taco Bell are making way more than that. And here you have the passion, the drive, and the belief in what you're doing. And you're helping people on their wellness journey and making peanuts. I would question life choices too. So that was my reality though. I wasn't a bad instructor. I was a good instructor. I learned as I went. I made mistakes. I made very public mistakes. And I looked and felt like an idiot most of the time, but I kept going and I kept, putting up cards and flyers and talking to anybody who had 2 ears to listen to me on why they should be taking my class. And I would get so frustrated and worked up because I felt like I was projecting or putting out all of this time and energy and passion into talking to people that would listen, and they're like in one ear, out the other. They could give 2 craps about it. It wasn't for them. So I cared about my clients. I cared about the work that I was doing because I knew how much Pilates had helped me in my own life and got me to a more calm place, a place of feeling more balanced and centered, because my first marriage was extremely toxic, and we share a daughter. She's, as of this recording, she's 24. So she's an adult now. But when she was little, our marriage was super toxic, and it was me and her the majority of the time. Excuse me, majority of the time. And being called names and being put down and made to feel like I was an idiot majority of the time. And it just wasn't from him. It was from past boyfriends, past relationships. And even now, my current husband, my second husband, we've been married since 2009. There was a lot of mental and verbal and emotional abuse from him because he was a former Marine and loads of PTSD, and he had undiagnosed bipolar. So from 2009, that's when we got married, until 2022, it's a lot of time, he would have those mood cycles. It was like clockwork every 4 to 6 weeks. It was honestly like clockwork. And living in that unbalance, it broke me. It really, really broke me. But the one thing that I had is my holistic wellness background and Pilates. Those 2 things, and business experience, because at the time I was also, I had owned a full service salon and skincare studio. I'm non-practicing, but I am a licensed esthetician. And so in business, I had to learn everything for myself. And again, I made so many mistakes and I trusted the very wrong people on a few different occasions. And I was like humiliating myself because I'm talking about things and trying to, with that salon, trying to speak to the voids by trying to speak to everybody about why they need to come in and have my services, visit our salon. But I look back and I'm like, holy crap, I was doing everything wrong. And I wasted so much money on marketing to the wrong people. So even though I believed in the mission for Pilates and for the salon, I believed in the mission. I believed in my clients and I wanted it to grow. I saw the bigger picture of what it could be. Maybe you do this too. I don't know. But you see the bigger picture of what it could be. You envision this grandiose thing. And that's not a bad thing. It is a wonderful thing. It's a brilliant thing. You have to know how to go about it correctly. So with Pilates, I would have the same, couple people in class, sometimes nobody in class. And guess how much money I would make that day? Nothing. I wouldn't make anything because nobody's there. And you get paid based on how many people sign up. So I knew what I taught. I knew that it worked because I had the change for myself and I had people telling me, even though it was just a couple people, I had those people coming into my class and afterwards they're like, oh my gosh, I needed this. I needed to relax. My body was so tight. I was so stressed, blah, blah, blah. I needed this class. It was just what I needed. I'm so glad I came here tonight. So what's frustrating though, even though that was super encouraging and motivating, what was frustrating and disheartening was it was the same people week after week that were showing up. Nobody knew. And someone canceled last minute. I would check signups constantly, like not obsessively, but it was just like I had to keep checking because I just kept praying and I kept believing that more people were going to show up. And I don't want to say manifesting because I don't really manifest. But I just kept with the hope and the belief that more people would show up. And I would show up to class and I'm like, I feel so disheartened and I could feel my heart sink down into my stomach because sometimes nobody showed up. And I was so excited about the new set list that I created, the new music. And other times it was just, one person in class. I still gave it 1000%. I still gave it my all. And I acted, even though there was only one person in class, I still acted like I had a room full of people. Same energy, same experience. It was more intimate, but it was the same experience. But I really was getting quite frustrated. And I thought, what the heck am I doing wrong? Is it me? Do people not like me? And then those thoughts start to cycle. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a bad instructor. Who am I to be doing this? I know nothing. All those limiting beliefs, all those negative beliefs started coming into my mind and like chirping in my ear. Chirping, if you're a hockey mom, hockey parent, you know what I'm talking about. My son is 15 or 16 now. He's been playing hockey and he's up in Boston playing hockey and going to prep school. So, the term chirping, okay? I had negative beliefs, those limiting beliefs, that negativity chirping in my ear, telling me I'm not good enough. And I started to feel like that imposter syndrome. So I want to paint you like an emotional picture. Imagine leaving your house, okay? Could be during the day, and you got to get a babysitter, or if you got young kids and the kids are still at school, or still at home, or maybe you need to rush after dropping the kids off, and maybe they're having a hard morning, and now you're trying to push them out of the car. Not saying I did that, but maybe it's you teach in the evening and you're missing family time, you're missing bedtime, you're missing those moments with your family, and you're just crossing your fingers, hoping people will show up. And when you walk in, there's almost nobody. So if you can resonate with that, you start questioning your choices. like your path. But here's what I thought would fix it. So here's what I thought would work. Maybe I need to market harder. Maybe I need to post more. Maybe, and I had a super small audience on social media and a email list. Didn't even know what that was, and which is another big mistake. But so to say my audience was very small is like an understatement. So I thought posting more on social media or relying solely on the studio to market and to bring people in. I was really hoping like word of mouth would go super far, but word of mouth only extends to the people within their center circle. And then you're hoping that some of those people that they have told about your class will come in, and then those people try the class, and then they go out and spread it to their inner circle, their core group of friends. So that's kind of how word of mouth goes. It is a very slow process. It can work if you got, chatty Cathy's out there talking up and down about your class and telling anybody who will listen. Those type of people are very few and far between, but the ones that do are gems. So word of mouth, it can be a very slow process. And then believing being really good was enough. It's not. Okay. There's other things that have to go along with that. So posting more didn't bring more people in. The studio was not really marketing me, and my audience way too small. And I wasn't struggling because I wasn't good. I was a good instructor. I was struggling because I didn't have access to new people. And that was the moment I realized that everything was going to shift. Okay. So here's the realization. You don't need more content. You don't need more classes. Okay. You don't need to teach more classes. Okay. Say that again. You do not need to teach more classes. You don't need to work harder. You've heard the saying, work smarter, not harder. Okay. There is only so many hours in the day. There are only so many classes a day. Sorry, my daughter's outside screaming. There's only so many classes a day that your body can physically teach. And there's only so many hours in a week because you still have a life and you still have a family that you need to, make feel important. So you cannot spread yourself too thin. So you need more eyeballs. You need to be in front of the right people because you cannot grow from the same 10 people or 5 people or 3 people. You cannot grow your classes from the same people forever. Okay. The old way is trying to push your message out. Okay. It feels like you're pushing up that mega boulder up a huge mountain. Okay. It's very hard. It's very difficult. It's bumpy. You get pushed back more than you go forward and hoping no new people will find you. Okay. That's the old way. We're pushing away with that. We are getting rid of it. The new way is to step into the rooms where your people already are, where they're already spending money. Okay. So it's called audience borrowing or smart collaboration. So instead of trying to grow your audience, start stepping into other people's audiences. And that's where everything changed for me. I partnered with a higher end community, and my topic was mindfulness for seniors. Okay, that was my client. That's who I wanted to teach. That's who I wanted to speak to. So I wasn't sure how many people were going to sign up, and I was pleasantly surprised. I got 17 brand new souls in this workshop. It was awesome. I don't quite remember what I had charged for it. Maybe it was $25. I don't remember. It was a number of years ago. But here's what happened. 17 new souls joined my workshop. They saw the value in what I had to offer, what I was going to be speaking and teaching on, giving new insight. So they're like, oh, mindfulness. Yeah, I need that. And, I need to know how to go about a day without feeling super overstressed. And so all of that was included in this workbook. And we went page after page, and the more we started going through it, it was like more questions started coming in. And I'm like making mental notes. I honestly don't even remember if I wrote it down, but probably did mental notes that if I don't write things down, I forget about it because perimenopause. Okay. That's how old I am. But you make mental notes because all those questions that the people were asking, that could be a whole other workshop. So if 5 people had questions, a couple questions each, that could be 10 workshops right there. 10 additional workshops. Now, if you're charging $75 for a workshop, you have 12 people, that's $900. If you host 3 workshops, that's $2,700. How many classes would you have to teach to make $2,700? Think about that. So workshops, it might be a completely new idea for you. Collaborating might be a completely new idea for you, but you don't have to freak out because I'm here. I went down the path. I made the mistakes, and I'm going to teach you on this channel. I'm going to teach you how to do it the smart way and who to collaborate with. Make it nice and easy. So my session, that mindfulness for seniors session, it was supposed to be 45 minutes, 45-minute workshop. It ended up turning into 2 hours. Like, hello, it was awesome. It was amazing. My people were in that room. They became a warm audience. They were cold before because I didn't know them. They had no idea who I was, but they saw the value in my topic and in my description. They're like, I want to know more. So they quickly became a warm audience. They paid, they showed up, they did the work, they asked questions, and the engagement, the energy in that room was awesome. We had so much fun because they were engaged, they were present, they were interested, and they were ideal. They were my ideal clients. So I decided to stop pushing that boulder up that mountain, hitting all those potholes and falling further back, getting more frustrated. So I decided to stop pushing and I started placing myself in those rooms. I started placing myself differently. So I stopped trying to do it alone. You can build a business by yourself, but that's like super boring and it's not how business is meant to be built. You're supposed to surround yourself with people who have the same vision and energy and commitment and drive for their own business. You feed off of each other. And it's like when one person rises, the room rises. So start collaborating with businesses in your area. So take a look around. Who is the type of client that you would love to have, either for one-on-ones or in groups, or however many people you can host in your class? Think about that one ideal person and go super deep into that profile. Okay, make it feel as real as possible. You can use AI for that too, like ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you want to use. But think about like who that person is. They're obviously you have your demographics, you got your psychographics, but then get into their deep. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. But think about what's holding them back. Like make this person feel so real. Like you can physically touch them. Give them a name and print out like find somebody that you could picture as this person. So go on Pinterest. That's what I did like all those years ago. Go on Pinterest and find a picture of a person and put their picture on one half of the page, and then on the other half put your client profile, and then put it on your wall. Because every stinking day you're going to look at that and you're going to be like, I'm speaking to that person today. I'm calling in that person. Every decision I make, every post I make, every email I send is to that one person. So you create that one profile, that one ideal avatar. And then for your audience, you're going to multiply it by 100. Okay. You're going to have a lot of people that are exactly the same. So you're speaking to one person, but for your audience, that one person is multiplied. Okay. Think about how many people are in social media, billions. So stop thinking like in the box, stop thinking so small. Whatever you teach in person, you can also teach online. It's not that hard. So your possibility of reach, you could have, 50 people a week, or you could have 5,000 people a week. Which one do you want? Doing that makes me think of what my daughter says at 6'7". So you don't have to do this alone. So think about the businesses that are around you. Who would you love to collaborate with? Think about your one person. Where are they going? Where are they shopping at? Where are they eating at? Where are they getting their hair done? What spas are they visiting? What wellness centers do they spend money at? What other fitness classes are they taking? So think about that. Start making a list. Should be about 15 to 20 different businesses on your list. Could be wellness communities, instructors. Yes, I did say instructors in different niches. Okay. It could be health professionals. So the rule is it's the same audience, but different services. Okay. You're obviously not going to collaborate with somebody who is in competition with you. I will say with instructors, so you have some that are diehard yoga instructors, some that are diehard Pilates instructors. You could actually collaborate because sometimes you have people that just only do yoga, but they could also benefit from Pilates. If you can have some transition over into Pilates, that'd be great. But think about other instructors and do a collaboration with them. Maybe it's how to get rid of back pain. I don't know. I'm just throwing out an idea there. But just because you're in the same market does not mean that you're in competition with each other. So I want you to create a super simple workout. It's not going to be a class. It's not going to be a program. It just has one specific outcome. So think of one problem and then your solution. That's the outcome. It's got to be super specific. People, they're not signing up for classes. They sign up for solutions. So when you're coming up with like class descriptions, what kind of classes that you want to teach, think about the solution. Don't just say Mat Pilates 101 or level 1 Mat Pilates, classic reformer, yoga, mindful yoga or something like that. Okay, those all sound really cute, but what exactly are they? Okay, you need to be highly specific. Offer the solution in your class title, in the description also. So get super specific. Specific outranks cute, and specific sells. Okay. I want you to collaborate with another business because they're going to invite their audience. You just have to show up and deliver. Like, how easy is that? They're handing their audience to you on a silver platter. So easy. So you could do the emails, the social social post. Hello, this is raw. This is real life. You need to stop convincing strangers of why they need to take your class, why they need to move more, or whatever. You need to stop trying to convince people and start serving warm audiences, warm rooms. So again, that goes back to getting into those rooms where your ideal person is already at. They're already sitting at the table. They're already talking to other warm people, warm leads. So find those rooms, find that table, pull up that chair, sit down, grab your glass of champagne or coffee, whatever, and start talking away because they are going to be your hot people. Okay. They're going to be the ones that are going to convert. They're going to buy your classes. They're going to enroll in those monthly memberships if that's what you have. So when I did that mindfulness for seniors workshop, I was really struggling to bring in, more than 3 to 5 people into my class. And after that workshop, that 2-hour workshop, that amazing workshop, I now had a room full of people, like 18. Okay. My classes sometimes had a wait list, but they were consistently 90% full. It was amazing. I felt good. I felt re energized. I felt charged. And I felt like, okay, I changed my perspective. I changed what I was doing. Like, this is proof what I'm doing is working. And it was just the proof that I needed to keep going. And after loads of prayer and just kind of like tossing up my hands and being like, whatever, I'm just going to follow the path, and wherever it leads, it leads. But I shifted and I started doing things differently. And it was once I was on my specific path, it was very aligned. It was already set before me. God already gave me that all those years ago. I was thinking I was smarter than that, and I was going to do my own thing and kind of deviate and make it super hard and question everything. So everything I was doing was not on my aligned path. Once I realized that, I pivoted and I shifted and I started showing up differently. It has been smooth sailing ever since then. It's been awesome, and I'm so grateful. So I had more confidence, I had more consistency, I had more demand. I was making more without teaching more classes. It was awesome. So I didn't have to get more certifications. I didn't have to become a better instructor. I became a visible one. So, all right. We're almost at the end of this video, but there's another thing that I want to mention. So I want to call out some mistakes maybe that you're making. Maybe you're trying to serve everybody. So that was the mistake that I did all those years ago. I was trying to speak to everybody and I was getting so irritated and frustrated, and I just wanted to like slam my hand down on a table and like yell at them. So you're going to stop speaking to everybody, just like I had to. You got that picture of that avatar, that person, your ideal customer, your ideal client or student with their picture, their profile. You have it posted on your board, someplace you're going to see it every single day. That's who you're going to be speaking to now. Okay. You need to stop over explaining your method, and I'm just going to turn that on. Stop over explaining what you're doing. Okay. And you need to stop waiting until you feel ready, because honestly, you're never going to feel 100% ready. There's always going to be something to tweak, always something to change. And that's the perfectionism thing that we're breaking, because if you are waiting for everything to be so perfect, so put together, so aligned, your time is never going to come. So don't do that. Don't make that mistake. And you also don't need to have a very big following, because hello, I didn't, and I still don't. Okay. I am trying to grow my this YouTube channel. I am actively working on growing it. I don't want to say trying, because that leaves room for failure and excuses. So I'm actively working on growing this YouTube channel by posting videos like this and teaching you how to make more money by hosting workshops in smart collaboration, the audience borrowing, without teaching more classes. So making more money without teaching more classes. And then I'm also on Instagram, which I did start a new Instagram page. So it's Courtney Spaeth Pilates. It's my last name is Spaeth Pilates. So I would be so grateful if you could find me on Instagram and follow. I will follow you back. And then also for YouTube, just if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also I would be very grateful if you could subscribe to the channel. It's just going to help more amazing people like you find my page. So I want you to stop pushing that boulder up the hill. Okay. We're not going to do that anymore. You're going to make it nice and easy, because I'm giving you permission for it to be easy. I held the belief that you had to work your tail off to earn every dollar. And that was what I was ingrained with growing up. My dad was in real estate. He only got paid when he had closings. Money was tight, but we still had a good childhood. We still did stuff. We still took vacations. And I grew up with the belief that, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. You need to work hard. So that was also limiting beliefs that kept me living in fear, that kept me procrastinating from moving forward. And I have been a work in progress, very actively working on that, trying to break those. I'm getting better. But sometimes it does still rear its ugly head. Maybe that is you as well. I feel you. I hear you when, you're thinking about frustrations. I hear that. Okay. I lived it. I was in the same boat as you. But now I don't think that way anymore. So sometimes, like I said, sometimes it does rear its ugly head, but getting better and better every single day. Try to be 1% better than the day before. So I want you to think about how you see yourself and how you're teaching. Sorry, I went off on a little tangent. But I want you to change how you're showing up. Okay, that's number one. Just change how you're showing up. This is a fresh start for you. So grab a notebook, grab a piece of paper, even the notes app on your phone, whatever, and just start making a list of those businesses and start writing down who your ideal avatar, your ideal client profile is. Who is the person? So those are the first few steps. Stop pushing that boulder up the hill. It's going to be smooth sailing from here on out. Today is a brand new day, and you are flipping over a brand new page. Okay. The old is gone. You're starting fresh. You're starting new. And I want you to be sitting here thinking like, yeah, I'm on fire. I'm excited. I can do this. I want you to be so charged up that you can't wait to get started. Like I've taught you a few different ways to think outside the box, and instead of just teaching more classes to make more money, okay, that's the old way. Audience borrowing, smart collaboration, collaborating with other businesses that your ideal person is already hanging out and spending money at. You're going to start working with them, and it's going to be easy. Get excited. Listen to some exciting, whatever song charges you or fires you up before you send that DM or before you send that email or make that phone call. But get excited because these are exciting times. You no longer have to wait on the studio to market you, and you don't have to sit there twiddling your thumbs, wondering who's coming in, and you don't have to sit there waiting for other people trying to get people into the class. Okay. Doesn't matter if you're an employee, a contractor, does not matter. You are your own brand. You are your own business from here on out. So start acting like it. Start thinking like it. All right. That is all I have for you in this video. Sorry it went a little bit long, but I had a lot to talk to you about. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this channel because I truly believe in this. And it took me a very long time to get to this point, and I'm so grateful for the journey, and I'm grateful for what led me here. So like this video, subscribe, find me on Instagram, Courtney Spaeth Pilates, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.